LCJ Live, February the 14th, 2026. Happy Valentine's Day. It's the Valentine's Day show of LCJ Live. Had to do it on the holiday today. Valentine's Day show of LCJ Live. Welcome. Thanks for being here. We're going to get to the Friday box office results for several new movies like Goat, Wuthering Heights, Crime 101, and more as I pull up my version here of LCJ Live. Plus, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. I have seen several of those movies. We'll talk about them coming up here. Cinema scores, box office, and more. As always, send in your questions and your comments on this Saturday Valentine's Day edition of LCJ Live. Number one, off of the Thursday Friday combo box office results, Wuthering Heights, $11 million. This is Margot Robbie, Emerald Fennell, Jacob Elordi. Warner Brothers, $11 million. Warner Brothers has The Bride coming out in just a few weeks with Best Actress frontrunner Jessie Buckley. But is Rose Byrne trying to take that Oscar away from Jessie Buckley? Rose Byrne has been on a media campaign. I don't know. I think Rose Byrne could win at the Independent Spirit Awards tomorrow, and that could set up an interesting showdown heading into Oscar night. That'll be interesting. But Wuthering Heights with $11 million. Warner Brothers' first big movie of 2026. First big movie in a while because they didn't release much after one battle after another last September. So it's been a little quiet for Warner Brothers the last several months, though they have two of the major award season contenders, Oscar contenders in Sinners and One Battle After Another. Hamnet with Jessie Buckley right there as well. The Oscars is still a little over a month away. How crazy is that? March 15th. We saw these movies so long ago. We're on to the new movies now. We got to think back to the other ones? My goodness. But Wuthering Heights is leading the Valentine's Day weekend box office with $11 million. The fact that Valentine's Day today is a Saturday, it's probably going to be a big day at the movies, a big night at the movies, a lot of couples. I remember 2 years ago going to see Bob Marley, One Love, and Madam Web on Valentine's Day. The Madam Web showing I saw at first was not that crowded, a little bit, and the Bob Marley showing was sold out. It had a huge Valentine's Day. I think it was a Wednesday a couple years ago, so that was a big day for movie theaters, and I think today is going to be as well. The cinema score on Wuthering Heights is a B. The cinema score on Goat is an A, and I fully expected this because I saw Goat last Saturday at a nationwide pay preview screening. It is terrific. It is one of the best movies that Sony Pictures Animation has ever made. It is fun. It is well-paced. It's energetic. The humor is great. The visuals, the basketball sequences, the style of it. It's a film for the here and now. It's so contemporary and very entertaining, and I congratulate the folks at Sony Pictures Animation on this movie, and $7.1 million so far. It could do upwards of $25 million when we look at the money through Monday. A lot of kids off of school the entire next week, so it's going to have a huge next 9-10 days in the theaters. If this mid-20s, early to mid-20s open happens for Goat, it would be right in line with some other Sony Pictures Animation movies, like their first film, Open Season from 2006, also Goosebumps, the Emoji Movie, the first Peter Rabbit. They were all in that early to mid-20s range for opening weekend. So Goat now aiming for that. Again, I think the word of mouth is going to be very strong, very positive. A lot of families going to go see this and really enjoy it. So go see Goat. Take the family, enjoy it. It's a really fun movie. Really enjoyed it. Number 3 is Crime 101 with $3.9 million after Friday. This is an Amazon MGM film. They hope it makes more money than Mercy, which has only done about $23 million. 3.9 so far for Crime 101 with several Marvel stars. You got Chris Hemsworth, Halle Berry, and Mark Ruffalo. Also in the cast, Barry Keoghan, Monica Barbaro, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Nick Nolte is in it. And even with this cast, I sat there Thursday going, this is a snooze fest. The first hour of it's really slow, goes at a snail's pace. And then a few things happen, but man, it's just so generic. It's so basic. It's so by the numbers. And nothing new to do or say in this genre. Not a fan of Crime 101. It's not the worst movie ever, but it's just flat, bland. You know, it makes you feel like you really need to invest yourself in these characters, like these characters are the most amazingly written characters ever. They're not. I was a fan of Bart Layton's American Animals from 2018. That's a movie that kept your attention. This does not. Crime 101 got a B cinema score. I'm not a fan of the film. Again, not terrible. I would sit through it again before I would sit through Mercy again out of these two Amazon MGM movies, but not a good film. Let's go to number 4, Send Help. Added $1.8 million. It's at $40.7 million. This will enter pretty soon the top 10 highest grossing movies under the 20th Century Studios brand. So it's pretty close to doing that. Number 5 is Solo Mio, which added $1.4 million. It's at $12 million. It is now one of the 10 biggest Angel Studios movies ever. And interestingly, it got an A- cinema score. A lot of Angel movies have gotten either A or A+. It's got an A-, which shows you that it's a little different than what they've put out in the last few years. It's a rom-com with a little drama, but boy, I'm not a fan of Solo Mio. It just, the humor is forced, the romance is forced, the conflicts are forced, and hardly anything about the movie works. That's Solo Mio. Here's a movie that does work. And the fact that this movie got a B cinema score is actually good, because I thought maybe audiences would react to it, it'd be even worse. But I like this movie a lot. Good luck, have fun, don't die. 1.4 million after Friday. It's not a perfect film. Not everything about it works, but you go on this journey. Sam Rockwell's great. Haley Lou Richardson is fantastic in this. It is a sci-fi dramedy about trying to save the world, and then there are more and more layers to it, and there's so much commentary. The commentary on AI, phones, social media, technology is really good. There's other kind of bold, daring, gutsy commentary in it as well. Gore Verbinski won an Oscar for Rango 15 years ago, directed this, and it is bold. It is bold. I give him a lot of credit and the writing team and everybody involved for taking chances with an original movie like this. Good luck, have fun, don't die. I recommend it. Go see it. Number 7 after Friday is Iron Lung. It added 750,000. It's at 34.9. Number 8 is Zootopia 2, which added 610,000. It's at 416.2. Number 9 is Dracula, which I also like quite a bit. 605,000. It's at 6.6 million so far. And rounding out your top 10 after Friday, from the money that has been released, is Avatar: Fire and Ash, which added 540,000. It is about 7 million, a little less than that, shy of 400 million domestically. The last one did 684 3 years ago. You chalk it up to a number of things, a number of factors of why Avatar: Fire and Ash is not doing as well as The Way of Water. One of them is that the other one came out just 3 years ago, a lot of competition this time, and that this franchise is just so basic. Joker Stewie Griffin is here, was listening to your ranking of the Best Picture nominees. Thank you. That's at WAMC. On the WAMC website, also lights-camera-jackson.com in the features section. One thing you said that struck me, what strikes you as showy about Leonardo DiCaprio's performance in One Battle After Another? It's just so over the top. I mean, I'm a fan of Titanic. I even liked his Great Gatsby. But when you look at Wolf of Wall Street, The Revenant he was very good in, though I'm not sure that was the best performance that year. But then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Don't Look Up, Killers of the Flower Moon, and now this, it's just over the top, in your face, yelling, screaming, to the camera, everything. Look at me, I'm Leonardo DiCaprio. Look at me, do all this. I'm acting, I'm going crazy. No, that's you gotta be subtle. Subtlety is much more effective, Leo. Subtlety. So yeah, his last several, not been a huge fan of those movies and those performances. Just very over the top. Very, all the goofy stuff of him on the phone trying to figure out the code and all that. To me, that was like a waste of time. It's like, don't waste my time. Paul Thomas Anderson made a movie that is style over substance. And it's not the worst of this year's Best Picture lineup. That honor goes to Begonia with Frankenstein right there. They're both terrible. But One Battle After Another is a movie that has a little bit going for it, but there are long sections of it that you just kind of go, what are we doing? I mean, it's really boring and dull. And then there are moments with the direction that Paul Thomas Anderson has. Yes, even the car scene towards the end is interesting, it's compelling, but it does take a long time. It does feel stretched out. So yeah, not a huge fan of One Battle After Another or Leo's performance in it. I'm trying to think. 2 years ago, Leo was snubbed, so people say, for his performance in Killers of the Flower Moon from the Oscar. But I'm glad he didn't get in because that wasn't a performance that I think was worthy of Best Actor nomination. Especially that year, that was a really competitive year for Best Actor. You had Cillian Murphy, of course, Paul Giamatti right there. You had Coleman Domingo, Bradley Cooper, and Jeffrey Wright, and they were all very, very good in their performances. I mean, Maestro, I wasn't the biggest fan of because I thought that, talk about showy, Bradley Cooper and Carey Mulligan in that film portrayed egomaniacs. How can you care about those two people? But Cillian Murphy was really good. Paul Giamatti was outstanding. You had Jeffrey Wright and Coleman Domingo, who were both very good in their performances as well. Yes, I love that movie, but I find your takes fascinating. Very well argued. I appreciate that. If you're just joining us here on LCJ Live, it's the Valentine's Day show. We don't have the money yet on Cold Storage, which I like Liam Neeson in Cold Storage, but the rest of it is not that strong. It's another sci-fi action comedy, a little bit of romance, Cold Storage in the theaters, but Liam Neeson, a very good character. The rest of it, kind of messy, kind of all over the place. Too many characters, too much going on. We don't have the money yet on This Weekend of Strangers Chapter 3 or the Friday results, Stray Kids, The Dominating Experience, or Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, which Neon opened in theaters yesterday. All right, let's talk about the movies that come out this next weekend. And I also want to mention, yesterday I watched for the very first time an Oscar-winning movie, Tender Mercies. Robert Duvall, really good in it. It won him Best Actor about 40 years ago. And I met Mr. Duvall at Critics' Choice the year he was nominated for The Judge. Great performance in that movie as well. He was the reason to see The Judge. And Tender Mercies is quite good. I really like the story. Talk about subtlety. That's a movie that isn't showy. There is subtle power in pretty much every scene. The dialogue, the themes, the music, the facial expressions. I was reading Roger Ebert's review of it afterwards, and he noted the subtle power of it as well. Tender Mercies, really strong film. Let's talk about the movies that come out this week. We have Midwinter Break, which is with Leslie Manville and Kieran Hines. Also, How to Make a Killing with Glenn Powell and Margaret Qualley. You have I Can Only Imagine 2, the sequel to the faith-based film from 8 years ago, I believe, Lionsgate in the theaters. Also, Psycho Killer. And Man on the Run is in theaters next Thursday ahead of it being on Prime Video. I have seen Man on the Run. This is a new Paul McCartney documentary from Morgan Neville. Morgan Neville's new Lorne Michaels film just got announced to come out in April. I've seen Man on the Run. I will have my thoughts on it a little closer to it coming to the theaters and Prime Video. But Man on the Run is in theaters Thursday of next week. Also in theaters next weekend, epic Elvis Presley in IMAX, in concert in IMAX. It starts off in IMAX for a week and then goes to traditional screen formats. This is Baz Luhrmann, who dug up some concert footage and reels and never before seen, never before heard commentary from Elvis the King while making Elvis a few years ago, and now doing this film, putting it out in theaters. Really looking forward to Elvis Presley in concert. First comes out in IMAX next weekend. And I do want to mention that the 2026 Oscar-nominated short films are in theaters starting next Friday. I've seen the animated shorts. I have interviewed several of the makers for animationscoop.com. Go there for those Q&As. And it's a nice group of films this year. Some are lighter in tone, some are more dramatic, but as always, I recommend you see the animated shorts and the talent involved in them. Good luck to all those filmmakers. Come Oscar Sunday, the animated shorts and live action and documentary are in theaters starting next Friday. Fanimator 101, GOAT was so good. Yes, I enjoyed GOAT very much. 7.1 million so far. Maybe going to hit 25 million by Monday night. Tomorrow is the Independent Spirit Awards. As I mentioned, I think Rose Byrne might win lead performance for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And the Annie Awards is next Saturday night. Next Sunday is the BAFTAs, which is back on television on E, which is exciting. It was on BBC America for years. Then it went just to BritBox and streaming and online, but it's back on television on E. And so that's a big awards weekend. You got tomorrow the Spirit Awards, and then next weekend the Annie Saturday and the BAFTAs next Sunday. And then you've got the Oscars on March 15th, but you've got the Actor Awards on March 1st. And then the Oscar voting is happening and lots of stuff going on. So still a long award season, even though we are also focusing on the big new movies like Wuthering Heights leading the Valentine's Day weekend, followed by Goat, also Crime 101, and Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. All right. Yeah, we covered a lot. That's the Valentine's Day. Enjoy it. Stay well, stay positive, support your movie theaters, and for more, go to lights-camera-jackson.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Instagram at lightscamjackson, exit LCJ reviews, go to toofast2films.com, the WAMC website, animationscoop.com, lcj.podbean.com, recording some new LCJ Q&A podcast episodes that'll be coming out pretty soon, including one next week. What can I say about the one for next week? Can I reveal it yet? Yeah, I talked about it. It's with Atan Sumach, who is the producer of this new Nickelodeon animated series. It's called Mr. Crocodile. And it starts on the 23rd on Nickelodeon, and my conversation with him will be available at lcj.podbean.com on Tuesday, as well as animationscoop.com. And then more podcast episodes I'll be recording in the next couple weeks. Some more exciting announcements and things coming at you soon. Thanks for being here for today's episode of LCJ Live. Happy Valentine's Day. Have a good one. I'll see you next weekend for LCJ Live. Bye-bye.